After a plane crash, Piggy wakes up in a forest, puts on his glasses, and starts searching. He finds fruit, but drops it when he sees worms, then gets startled by a passing pig. Piggy finds the wrecked plane, but avoids it due to a rotting body nearby. He grabs fruit from a tree instead. While eating, he spots Ralph, and the two decide to explore together. They pause when Piggy needs to rest due to his asthma. At a stream, Ralph jumps in and offers to teach Piggy to swim, but Piggy can't because of his asthma. Piggy wades in, and they splash each other. Afterward, Piggy finds a large conch and explains how to blow it. On the beach, Ralph blows the conch, drawing a large group of boys. They share fruit and wonder about the missing adults. Jack arrives with his choir group. Simon collapses. Jack dismisses it, saying Simon always faints. Jack calls Piggy fatty, and Ralph proposes a vote for leader. Jack thinks he should lead, but Ralph wins by a landslide. To calm Jack, Ralph lets him lead the choir, who become the hunters. The boys head to the mountaintop. Piggy struggles with his asthma. They find the dead pilot. Ralph wants a burial. Jack prefers a Navy burial at sea. Piggy objects, but is outvoted. The body is too heavy to carry, so they push it down the hill. Simon says a short prayer. Back at camp, the boys confirm they're on an island. No way out. No adults, likely all dead. Everyone talks at once. Piggy proposes a rule. Only the person holding the conch may speak. Piggy says they need shelter, food, and toilets. Jack mocks him, but the others agree. A boy with a birthmark warns of a beast in the forest. Ralph dismisses it. Jack promises the hunters will kill it. Ralph assigns chores. Piggy gathers sticks in the woods when a piglet appears. Jack corners it, but hesitates. Piggy urges him to kill it, but the piglet escapes. Jack blames Piggy. Piggy promises not to tell. Jack mentions the beast to spook him. Piggy gathers wood with the twins and Simon, who asks him to teach a song. They sing and dance. Ralph asks Piggy's real name. He's Nicholas, called Nicky. The boys want to build a signal fire, but have no matches. They forcefully take Piggy's glasses to use as a lens. The fire starts, but quickly spreads out of control. Piggy warned them about the rotten wood. The flames reach the trees, and the kids panic. Ralph says they have no tools to stop it. Everyone runs as burning trees fall off the cliff. Piggy, slowed by asthma, trips and hits his head on a tree. He passes out briefly. He makes it to the beach where everyone watches the fire spread. He blows the conch to wake the sleeping younger boys. Ralph notices rocks are stopping the fire on one side. Piggy counts heads. The boy with the birthmark is missing. Jack and Maurice track pig prints in the woods. Jack flashes back to the plane ride. The shaking, a sick flight attendant, moments he ignored. The plane fell. He kept a stoic face. Back in the present, Maurice steps on a branch and a pig escapes. On the beach, Piggy tells stories to the little kids. Ralph struggles to build a shelter. Jack mocks him. Ralph fires back about the failed hunts. They race to the sea and have fun, then rest and talk. Ralph says the little ones have nightmares. Simon says something lurks on the island. He felled it in the woods. Jack denies sensing anything. He invites Ralph to join the hunters. Ralph declines, saying the chief must stay at camp. Piggy complains about the little ones using the wrong toilet area. Ralph saves it for the meeting. Jack leaves. While gathering wood, Jack feels something following him. He spots a piece of the plane high on a rock and climbs it, but nearly slips. His friends guide him safely down. He thanks them and asks them to keep it quiet. The hunters spot pigs resting in the distance. They plan a route to attack. Jack covers his face in mud. Simon helps him finish painting as Jack shares stories about his father's survival trip. Next day, Jack draws the hunt in the sand. At a meeting, Piggy tries to give advice but is mocked and talked over. Ralph tries to calm everyone. Ignored. Jack calls them crybabies and tells them to listen to Ralph. A boy describes something horrid moving in the trees. Another boy cries. Jack speaks to him privately. He saw something in the sea. The hunters, now painted with mud and armed with sharpened spears, find the pig's resting place. They surround the mother pig. Jack's spear breaks on impact. Another boy beats the pig until it can barely move. Jack slashes her throat. Blood splatters. The boys go silent as the reality sinks in. They wonder if the piglets will survive. They impale her head on a branch and carry it as a trophy, singing. At a stream, they clean up. They find Simon's suitcase, eat the toothpaste, read his diary. A A second suitcase has women's clothes and makeup, which they use as war paint. They return to camp to find boys blowing the conch. A ship is visible, but the signal fire is out. Ralph tries to relight it, but the ship is already gone. Ralph scolds the hunters. Jack defends himself. The others apologize. Jack argues they should be grateful for the pig. Piggy calls him out. Jack punches Piggy, cracking his glasses. Jack announces he's starting his own camp. Nobody joins him. He walks away crying. Piggy removes the cracked lens and can now only see with one eye. Ralph admits he doesn't want to be chief. Piggy convinces him to stay. Ralph promises to protect him. While distracted, most hunters sneak off to join Jack, who quickly builds a shelter with them. In the woods, Simon finds the pilot's body. Jack begins reading Simon's diary. One night, something falls from the sky near the signal fire. Something moves in the woods. Simon dreams of his choir days. He had a beautiful voice, but felt uncomfortable because of secret feelings for Jack. Piggy spots storm clouds. Ralph and Simon try to get him to relax. That evening, Simon and Ralph talk privately. Simon reveals his father hit his mother. When asked who his favorite parent was, Simon was too scared to answer, and his father used it to hurt his mother. Simon admits he's a coward and says Jack is too. But Ralph isn't, so the kids need him. He tells Ralph that outside school, he and Jack only had each other, but Jack would ignore him once school resumed. The twins scream. They saw the beast. The group visits Jack's camp under a flag of peace. The twins say they fled from a terrifying creature near the signal fire. Piggy and Simon want to protect the younger kids together. Jack insults Simon for not joining the hunters. Ralph decides his group will join the hunters to face the beast together. One unexplored area can only be reached by a narrow rocky path. Ralph volunteers to cross it alone. Jack insists on going too. They search the area and find nothing, then argue. Jack says Ralph is secretly scared. Ralph says Jack isn't as tough as he pretends. Jack asks who told him that. Back with the group, Jack reads Simon's diary aloud to taunt him. The search drags on. Piggy urges them to rest. Jack insults him. Simon defends Piggy. The group splits. 5 continue searching, the rest go back. Simon asks for his diary back. Jack refuses and calls it the saddest story he's ever read. Ralph gets tired. Simon stays with him. Jack calls Simon Ralph's dog and keeps walking. Ralph follows, ignoring Simon's warnings. They reach the mountaintop. A piece of fabric rises to reveal a terrifying face. The boys bolt. Simon lingers and notices it moves oddly, like a puppet. Jack blows the conch at camp. They've seen the beast and must hunt it. Ralph points out Jack ran away too. They argue and fight in the water. Jack wins, using the conch as a weapon. Simon pulls Ralph out. That night, Simon sneaks into Jack's camp, takes back his diary, rereads fond memories of Jack, then throws the diary in the fire. He tells Ralph and Piggy he's happier with them than with his family. Suddenly, the younger kids flee. The hunters are chasing them with torches and masks. Jack invites everyone to eat the pig they've killed. He's called Chief. Ralph asks if Jack will now be responsible for the signal fire. Jack doesn't answer. Simon visits the pilot's bones and performs strange gestures, as if absorbing its energy. He returns to find more boys have left for Jack's camp. Piggy wants to grab some meat and leave. Ralph agrees to go. At Jack's camp, the hunters bang coconuts and branches. Jack gives Ralph the first cut of meat. Simon walks away frustrated. Storm clouds gather and thunder rolls. Simon finds the pig's head on a stick and hallucinates her voice calling him crazy and weak. She tells him to run. As he flees, he sees visions of the boy with the birthmark. Meanwhile, Jack promises food to anyone who joins him. Everyone cheers, ignoring Ralph. The storm worsens. Ralph urges everyone to find shelter, ignored. The boys dance on the shore in the rain. They play a game. One boy pretends to be the beast while the others hunt him. Something moves in the woods. The boys attack without looking and kill Simon. His body drifts away with the current. The next morning, Ralph walks in the woods and remembers a childhood hunt with his father. He tripped and hurt his arm. That evening, he chose to stay with his sick mother instead of going again. That night, hunters raid the camp and steal Piggy's glasses to make fire. Later, Ralph blows the conch. Only Piggy, the twins, and 3 young kids remain. They go to Jack's camp to negotiate. Everyone there behaves like savages. Ralph calls Jack a thief. A fight breaks out. Jack beats Ralph with a spear. Piggy grabs the conch and calls out everyone's behavior. Jack orders him silenced. Roger throws a rock. It hits Piggy in the head. The conch falls and shatters. Piggy collapses. Ralph tries to help. Jack orders the hunters to catch them. The twins are captured quickly. Ralph hits Roger with a rock and escapes with Piggy into the woods. They hide under large leaves as hunters search. Once clear, Piggy says he doesn't feel well and vomits. Ralph holds his hand, but doesn't mention how badly Piggy's head is bleeding. Ralph wraps the wound and tries to help Piggy walk. He's too weak. Ralph leaves to find water, ignoring Piggy's pleas not to go. Ralph counts trees to track his path back and sees a vision of Simon. He fills 2 coconuts at the stream but has to hide when hunters appear. They spot him anyway. He sprains his ankle while fleeing and hides in tall grass until they leave. Back with Piggy, Ralph shares the water. Piggy tells him, "If they find us, run without me." They sleep under the leaves. Piggy says he's cold. The next morning, Ralph wakes to find Piggy dead. He buries him, grieving, remembering how a family friend told him after his own mother's death that his father would need him. Ralph sneaks to Jack's camp to tell the twins. Roger hears and alerts the others. A chase begins through the forest. Ralph hides underwater in the stream. When Jack gets close, Ralph throws a rock and surfaces to fight. They struggle. Ralph steps back and asks Jack to make a choice. They trade blame. Jack calls the other hunters. Ralph runs again. The chase lasts hours. Ralph hides to catch his breath. Roger decides to smoke him out using Piggy's glasses. They spread fire with torches. Smoke fills the area. Ralph can't breathe, but uses the smoke as cover to slip away. He sees a vision of Piggy smiling. Exhausted, he yells Jack's name and surrenders. Ralph stumbles onto the beach and finds 2 Navy officers. The hunters freeze at the sight of adults. The captain is horrified by the savagery and the mention of dead children. He asks who the leader is. Jack says nothing. Ralph says it's him and starts to cry. The officers take them away on the boat. As civilization comes back into view, the boys begin to understand they'll have to live with everything they've done. Subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.